Welcome back, Bobcat fans, to Week 5 of the Frostburg Sports Awards. And today I have our male athlete of the week, Zay Giles, who finished with 3 touchdowns on 6 catches in football's win over UNC Pembroke on Saturday. Zay, I just wanted to get some of your thoughts on how you thought that you played over the weekend.
I feel like I played a pretty good game. I could for sure improve on some things, but just trying to get ahead for Notre Dame.
Coming into Frostburg State, you're coming from Lamar Division I University down in Texas. What made you choose Frostburg to come all the way up into Western Maryland, all the way from Texas?
Well, just really Coach McDonald and Coach Fitz. I talked to them, and it was a great chemistry at first. Told me everything I needed to know. I was just ready to come in and just produce.
So coming in as a graduate transfer, what was the process like for you to graduate from Lamar and then to come here in terms of like the travel, the communication, all that it took for you to be able to get here?
Well, first I took a flight here. I couldn't drive, but it was pretty easy. Just the flight was just a hassle, and then getting here, finding out where I'm gonna stay at, and then just learning the whole offense. That's it.
And then at Lamar, you played actually as a redshirt freshman, started out pretty effectively for you, was the team's leading receiver in your first year of actual play, also ran track. What are your experiences at Lamar that you remember and that you can bring up for some of our fans that are just getting to know you?
My freshman year, I'm a freshman year, that's old news. I'm trying to focus on everything that's moving forward, taking advantage of every opportunity. So I want to leave my Lamar there. I'm here at Frostburg. So
All right, we'll get into the game then, and your first touchdown of the day. Something that our offense has implemented in the past couple weeks is the sort of wildcat formation with Gavin Lavatt taking snaps out of the shotgun. For a lot of what other teams had seen is that Gavin would take it up the middle or run it up the side or anything, but it turned out he flipped the ball to you and you just took it into the end zone. So what has that been like to practice that and be able to come in at game time when the call comes in from Coach JC to get you the ball and then you scamper in to score?
it was a great feeling, of course, just to score, but it was great preparation throughout the whole week just to go in there and execute it on game day. It was a great feeling.
And your second touchdown, you catch a deep ball from Graham Walker using some of your straight line speed, which is something that you've brought into this program where returning and receiving, you just have a lot of speed to you, and then getting in behind on that second touchdown. Was it kind of you just knew that you had your defender beat?
I did, for sure. It was a great pass though by Graham, though, most definitely. So.
Wanted to talk about Graham a little bit, where he's a new quarterback. You're learning a new offensive system here at Frostburg. What's it been like to play with Graham, who we've talked, we've had a bunch of wide receivers as our athlete of the week, and they all say that Graham just has a winning mentality, kind of never give up attitude. Is that something that you see as well in playing with him?
Most definitely, I see. Pretty sure like one of the toughest dudes out there, for sure. Great leader, like you said. Great dude all around too, though. So great teammate. So.
And then talking about the wide receiving core, we're coming in. We've got a bunch of seniors in the receivers. Malik Morris, Lincoln Akubu, Christian Thornton have all been here for a large part of their careers, and then Kyle Belak coming in as a grad transfer. So all of those guys have kind of been in the system. How is it working with them to get you acclimated here to Frostburg and have them kind of teach you the ways sort of here as a Bobcat?
It's been completely accepting. Everybody's been accepting to me coming in and just learning it. So it's been no hassle about none of that. It's just been everybody just great guys, honestly. So I'm happy to be here.
And then the third touchdown back in the UNC Pembroke game, sort of the cherry on top, where it was pretty similar to the first touchdown, except it came from the other side of the field where you're running into the middle, just to add that extra touchdown and your first 3 touchdown game here with the Bobcats. What was, after that, and then the backup sort of came in and got some playing time, but for you yourself, just scoring that third touchdown, what did that mean to you?
It was exciting also as every touchdown. Honestly, we got a lot of work to do. I'm gonna keep saying that because our main goal is to get a ring, win conference. So we gotta keep working towards that.
You talked earlier about wanting to focus on this upcoming week against Notre Dame. Wanted to take a little bit of a step back where we talked to Coach Fitz earlier in the year, and he said for this season we're going to take it 1 week at a time. We're never going to look ahead at another opponent, which is something going into UNC Pembroke you can understand some players might do with Notre Dame coming up this weekend. But for you guys and you yourself, is it still just that 1 week mentality where this week you're only focusing on Notre Dame and not ahead at next week as well?
Most definitely, 1 week at a time. That's the main mindset, just straight path.
And now preparing for Notre Dame, they've been sort of kings in the conference the past couple years. Just lost last weekend, so they're going to be hungry. But what is your guys' preparation for going into this week? You said there's going to be things that need cleaned up. Some things aren't perfect yet, but how are you guys preparing for this weekend?
I mean, just going there every day and practice hard. I mean, just listen to coach, tell him everything have him tell us everything we need us to do, tweak it, whatever we got to do, and just come together as a camaraderie. I mean, get the dub. That's the main goal.
Well, Zay, I want to thank you for coming on to talk to us today. Obviously, a busy class schedule. You got practices and a big game coming up this weekend, but we really appreciate your time here, and congratulations once again on being named Male Athlete of the Week.
Appreciate it, too. Appreciate you also for having me on here.
All right, well, stay tuned. Next up, we'll have women's soccer with Carolyn DeSena and Brian Parker, who's our Female Athlete of the Week and Coach of the Week, respectively. Thank you, and go Bobcats. Welcome back into the Frostburg Sports Awards, and we have our Coach of the Week, head women's soccer coach Brian Parker, after their 2 wins this past week. First, a 3-1 win at Fairmont State, and then coming back home, a 3-0 win against Davis and Elkins. Coach, just want to get your overall thoughts on your team's performance in the past week.
Obviously, we're pretty happy. The road win at Fairmont was probably the more significant of the results, of course. It's interesting year with the pandemic. It's hard to tell who's got what players and who's returned, and everyone has potentially a half a roster new for this year. Fairmont even has a new coach, and so they obviously have good players. The number 10 was our freshman of the year at one point, and she was dangerous in the game. But obviously to travel there and have such a great start, I think was pretty impressive for us, and that obviously is the team that's in our division, so it was more like a 6-pointer, and we were pretty happy about it.
And so starting out in that Fairmont State game, you got 2 pretty quick goals off the bat. The first goal from Kat Smith, her first collegiate goal coming, ball bounced around in the box, and then she finished off of a corner. And then Lexi Pate with a nice header that she looped over the goalkeeper. And something that I've noticed in a lot of your wins this season, it's happened because of early goals where you kind of set that tone, and then you can not sit back and defend the whole game, but you have that comfort in front of you there. And just wanted to get some of your thoughts on Kat specifically, her first collegiate goal, where she's performed so well in defense and finally got a little bit of a reward where you can see that in the stats.
So I guess one of the parts of your question is interesting is I think if you'd rather have a fast starting team, right, or a good finishing team, I mean, you'd like to have both, of course, but having great starts and building a lead has certainly put us in position to play more players and make some adjustments and essentially focus a little more on defending if necessary as the game progresses. We're forcing teams to kind of come after us, because we have that lead, and so they do a little more unusual things and play with more urgency. So far we've taken advantage of it, and it's been pretty awesome. Kat Smith is just a super athlete and very alert, and we're putting her up on corners because she's good in the air and tracks the ball well, and is strong and has really holds her space pretty well. That goal was a kind of random, I mean, if you look at it carefully, she got something, I think her leg or foot on the first ball, and then it kind of squirted back to her, and she just jumped on it, and she pretty much roofed the rebound and hit the top bar, and it bounced in. Awesome reaction to her, for her to jump on that rebound and hit it so well. Very happy for her. It's not common that defenders really get chances, but we've had a few of them score this year. So I guess maybe it was her turn. But she's certainly deserving. She's played tons of minutes, just got really prepared for college soccer physically, and you can see it's paying off.
And then in that game as well, after the 2-goal lead, Fairmont kind of worked their way back into the game. They had a lot of possession, especially to start the second half. They really came out with a fire under them, and then got a penalty off a corner kick that they converted, and then it's 2-1. But then right after that, you guys got your own penalty, so it kind of worked out in your favor where you got the 2-goal cushion back, and it was Audra Curtin who stepped up and has really kind of taken over as the penalty taker for you guys.
So credit to Fairmont for sure. Great second half. You know, they had tons more energy, and they didn't really change it much, I don't think, in terms of their system, but they really played much harder and sharper and put us on our heels. You know, the penalties are what they are, you know. I mean, I wish it was a little more predictable probably as a coach, but the crazy karma about that, of course, is that we immediately get an opportunity at the other end and get a PK called. And I hate to say that tit for tat is kind of not surprising, you know, but you know, I would argue both fouls were pretty clear fouls and the calls were proper. And, you know, I don't want to pretend to be an official, but it's not an easy job. And fortunately, it did not determine the outcome. I guess you could say that. And so, you know, Fairmont was certainly in it and had energy at the end. But, you know, Audra is, she's obviously a senior, has some experience, has some composure, I think, from just being through a lot of things here. And she strikes the ball extremely well, and she can go in either direction. So she's very unpredictable. And so even if you watched her and scouted her PK, I don't know how helpful it would be. So, you know, she's earned that right, and, you know, hopefully she doesn't miss any.
And you talked about Fairmont not changing up their formation at all. They just had more energy. You guys, since the start of the season, have switched up your formation, where you switched from what was essentially a 4-3-3 into kind of a 3-5-1-1 in a way where starting out you have Lexi Pate up top and then Tony Fiacco-Miser in behind her. But you switched to that back three. Was that just the personnel that you had and something that you saw in those early games?
Yeah, so it was originally, frankly, kind of an antidote for Concord's lineup, you know, who does something a little different as well. So we decided to change for that game, and we just liked it. You know, it just suits our players. So we've always said here at Frostburg that we're not going to fit, you know, square peg in a round hole, so to speak, and force you to play in like the Frostburg system. You know, we want to fit a system to our players based on their strengths and weaknesses, and so we have the right mix of players, you know, 3 really athletic backs. Obviously, we have those wide players can run all day and have great stamina. We love to play, you know, with 3 center mids. And I think having the pair of strikers, however you set it up, the striker pair is a little more dynamic and can play a little more laterally. And so it just enables us to get players around the ball a little bit more, you know, that which is what we want. And the pace up front has also been super helpful, and let Lexi Pate, and we bring Keely Knotts and you know, Mackenzie Alonso off the bench are just as fast, and so we have depth at that position and can really stretch teams out vertically, and that system lets us do that. So we'll continue to make adjustments, and I think the second round of games against these MEC teams, we get to be a little playful with it and show some things and try some things, and you know, we'd love to get that rematch with Concord, and you know, we'll probably have a plan for that if we get that chance.
You talked about the pace there. I wanted to get into the Davis and Elkins game, where the first goal was exactly kind of, you know, what you had just talked about. It was a long clearance from Kat Smith out of defense, not really a ball that, you know, is an intended pass necessarily, but Lexi was so fast to get onto it. The goalkeeper indecision, she just was able to chip her. But it was because of her speed that she could get there so quickly and be able to finish. And another early goal for you guys.
I was a bit surprised. You know, obviously some teams are going to want to really press and play a higher line in the back and just to get bodies in midfield. And, you know, you assume they do that to make the space smaller in midfield, right? And create more pressure on the ball in midfield and sort of cut out services. And so when we saw that, it's just a matter of our players finally kind of realizing like what's on in the game. And that's what we want them to do, is like see it, listen to it. When teams trap, they're usually announcing it, you know. So finally we got a decent ball in there, and we ended up getting several in the second half, and where we, you know, use our pace to get behind them. You know, I would never. I'm not sure why the keeper made that judgment. It seemed odd that she wanted to leave the goal. Obviously, when the ball was first hit, she made a decision and did not expect that Pate was going to run that ball down. And so, credit to Lexi for getting there and having the composure to see the right shot, and she put it right over her perfectly. So it was a good finish.
The second goal in that game was almost a carbon copy in terms of how the finish came out. It was Leela Clark, who had come into the number 10 position, at least at the time, and then played it through. And Carolyn DeSena got onto the end of it. And again, a little bit of indecision from the goalkeeper, but again, the finish passer, Carolyn's first collegiate goal, and then right after that, almost a good cross from Kat Smith. Audra with a fantastic save from the backup goalkeeper, and then Carolyn was just right place, right time. But a player that's come in, has kind of made the wingback position her own, and then getting her first 2 collegiate goals.
Yeah, it's so obviously rewarding for those players when they finally cash in and get a chance to get it in the score sheet. Carolyn DeSena has been working her butt off all the way back into the summer. There's no doubt about that. She was super prepared, won some of our fitness tests. And, that position suits her. She can run all day, and she's got great pace. We finally got the timing of the through ball really perfect, and Leela put a great ball out in front of her. And, once she got her hips around that player and got positioned, she wasn't going to get caught. And again, the goalkeeper just kind of presented a window to her to finish it, and she put it in pretty calmly.
And then going into the second half, you now have a 3-0 lead. You can afford to bring more of the bench players in, get some players some experience that haven't necessarily played a ton this season. D&E made a game of it. They had a goal line clearance from Kat Smith off a corner kick, and then a penalty call against Kat. And then Katie Stern, who had gotten the start in goal in the second half, made the penalty save, and great moment. The bench was all jumping up and cheering. And I remember after the game, it was Steph Vigetzi and Ashley Bilger that immediately went out to go sprint to her and congratulate her on keeping the clean sheet for you guys.
So, of course, one of the benefits to having the margin and the sort of win sort of secured in terms of goals scored is we get to try a lot of players and get players minutes. Katie, to this point, is maybe our most improved player, Katie Stern in the goal, because she's, a bit undertrained. She hasn't really traveled a lot to do a lot of travel soccer at an extensive level like some of our other players. And so she's just thrived in our training environment. Laura Dougal, our goalkeeper coach, gets a lot of credit for that. And the other keepers, of course, get a lot of credit for that, for really bringing her along. She deserved a chance, and we were happy to give her an entire half. Who knows what's going to happen? Another PK call. Again, it's a PK because they call it. We can debate what happened on the play all day, but the bottom line is she stood in there and forced the shooter to beat her, and she did it. We like our goalkeepers to sort of stand their ground and make the shooter beat them, and she reacted really well to it, and we knocked the rebound away, and full credit to her for a great reaction save. And I think it was Hannah Thompson who jumped on the rebound, which is something that we actually rehearse all the time. So it was defended really well, and she was one of the heroes of the game. It was a terrific performance for her, and obviously you need a keeper, who's going to be ready to play at a moment's notice, who maybe isn't getting the regular minutes that, we've had. Just 2 years ago, we played 3 keepers almost equally in minutes because of injury and illness and all kinds of things. So you certainly need a crew of keepers that are all ready, and we have that, and it was good to get Katie some minutes. Carolyn DeSena and Katie Stern were kind of highlight players, first-year players in a pretty competitive conference game. So obviously we're excited about that.
So a big 6 points in terms of the conference standings for the past week, and this upcoming week, another couple of big games. First against West Virginia Wesleyan, who we were very familiar with from this past spring. A lot of athletes on that team. And then Glenville State, who's a team we didn't play in the spring, and a road trip down there. What's the team's preparation going into this week? Obviously a tough game on Wednesday, and then a road trip on Saturday for you guys.
So, the cliche is one game at a time. I think the challenge for us now is obviously to keep this level of play going and just make it sustainable. Developing good habits in the training, having a good speed of play in the training, having a real good positive attitude and good energy level in the training is really, really important. So the games are just what we do that day, and I think having that sort of every game is important, and we need that same sort of almost professional level of preparation is an important habit we're acquiring. I don't think we played up to our standard last night in a lot of ways, to be honest. And so there's always room for growth and things we can work on, and we'll do that this week for Wesleyan. Of course, it's awesome to have them at home because they have that grass field that no one's really crazy about. And then who knows about Glenville? We've actually never been, since we've been in the conference. That's I think the only place we haven't been. So they have a new coach, and they're getting some, good results for them, keeping games close and obviously defending pretty well. So we'll do our due diligence and scout those teams and be ready. But just keeping it going and keeping that energy level and quality level up is that's our challenge.
Coach, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day, come and talk to us here on the Frostburg Sports Awards. Congratulations on your Coach of the Week, and certainly we wish you the best of luck for this week and for the future.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the coverage. Go Bobcats.
All right, well, stay tuned. Next up, we have Carolyn DeSena, who we just talked about. She's our Female Athlete of the Week, and she'll be wrapping up us here on Week 5 of the Frostburg Sports Awards. Back here on the Frostburg Sports Awards for Week 5, we're wrapping up with Carolyn DeSena, who's our Women's Soccer Player of the Week and our Female Athlete of the Week. She scored her first 2 career goals last night against Davis and Elkins. Carolyn, I just want to get your thoughts on your overall play for the past week, including the game against Fairmont.
For Fairmont, I felt like we pressed very well. We scored 2 goals off of long corner kicks, which is very good. We haven't been able to score off of corner kicks a lot. And we really worked as a team for Fairmont. We kept the intensity high and everything. And then I think our performance as a team was really well. And then against Davis and Elkins, I think we were able to get those 3 goals pretty quickly in the first half. And I'm really proud of everyone and how everyone's working together. So, yeah.
So going back a little bit, I just want to kind of get some of your background of why you chose Frostburg coming out of high school. What made you choose the university and this team specifically where you're coming in?
So during the recruiting process, I talked to Parker a lot, obviously, and he was really, I felt like he'd be a good coach that I'd be able to grow under. Playing-wise, and when I started meeting the girls, everyone was super sweet and nice, and I felt very included. It was just a great atmosphere to be able to come in and play with, and the school itself, it's small, it's homey, which is really nice, and the teachers that I talked to were super sweet, so I really just liked how everyone was kind and thoughtful towards me. So.
It's just a nice comfy feel here at the Berg of what we call it. And you said about the growth that you've had, and it's kind of been a change over the course of the season where with the team changing formations, where we started out with the back 4, you ended up playing as an outside back, and now we switched to the back 3 where you're now as a wing back. So how has that shift kind of helped you and your progression as this season has gone on?
So when I played outside back, I pushed up a lot. I would make a lot of overlapping runs around the forwards, and as a winger, I'm able to do those exact same runs, just farther up the field, and I was able to take more people on as a wing rather than just thinking more defensive-minded as an outside back. So it's just more attacking-minded.
And in the first game against Fairmont last week, where they had their number 10, Kira Kudzinski, who was the freshman of the year last year, who was on your side, and you were tracking back a lot with Kat Smith helping you out there between the two of you before you switched sides with Leela at the other wing back. But facing up against her, I mean, she's big, she's strong, she has a lot of speed, but you and Kat both were able to kind of communicate between each other where, I'm going to take her and I'll pass her on to you in that case. So just handling her defensively was kind of the job, at least for the first half of that game.
Yeah, it was. Kat and I have a pretty good relationship. She rooms next to me, so we talk a lot, and so I think that really helps on the field because we already have a good communication. And so we make sure that if I see a player that's going behind me, I'm like, Kat, step up, or she sees somebody coming behind me, she's like, Carolyn, drop back. So it's just a lot of good communication between the two of us. So, yeah. She actually gave me a bruise, which wasn't very nice of her. She cleated me.
I noticed your leg, you kind of got banged up there.
I came in for a ball to pass it back to Abby, and she came up and went like this onto my knee, and I was like, ouch. But it's okay.
Yeah, teammates said it's all in good fun. Wanted to talk about 2 of the senior members of that back line, and Mackenzie Fulch and Abby Dennis. Obviously, where you're playing next to Kat for a large majority of it, but sometimes you will switch over to Abby's side. With them, and then also with Lexi and Audra and Mina, who's on the bench right now, she's hurt, but all of the seniors on that team, what have you kind of gained from them in terms of their leadership that they've given?
They're all very strong players on the ball, which they're telling, like me as a new player, I try to pass the ball off to a little bit more experienced players. So they're just telling me to like pressure and like keep the ball more, so I'm able to like gain more foot skills and stuff. So it's just more of a teacher relationship. It's really kind of fun.
And then we get into the game last night against Davis and Elkins. The first goal, again, a very quick goal scored by Lexi, the long ball from Kat out of the fence. Lexi latches on, the goalkeeper kind of some indecision. And then the second goal, which was your first goal of your collegiate career, where Leela plays you in. And it's almost a carbon copy where, again, the goalkeeper comes out and you just notice and you finish beyond her. But what was your feeling and your emotion scoring your first collegiate goal there?
It was so cool. I like went around the defender and like went scooted through, and I saw the keeper come out like Lexi, and I was like, okay, might as well try to shoot it. So I just hit it underneath of her, and I scored, and I was like so excited, and I jumped up, and then everyone came out and started giving me hugs and everything, which was so sweet. Like, I didn't expect that. And then Ashley Bildred came up out of the goal all the way up and like gave me a hug, and we played high school together, and that was really sweet, and it made me really happy, and everyone was just so ecstatic, and I don't know, it was just a lot of fun.
And then on top of that, just 5 minutes later, it's another goal for you where Kat Smith put in a really good cross from the right side into Audra, who, credit to the Yanese goalkeeper, made a really good save on her, but you were right place, right time. You were still in the box looking to try and get a goal, and you just tapped it in to get your second goal just 5 minutes, and you have 2 collegiate goals already. Again, credit, and just, is that something I've noticed in your games where you're coming up from wingback, is that you're always willing to make that overlapping run into the box, and you get yourself into some pretty good positions.
Yeah, for my club team, that was one of the main things that I did a lot. So, and we got a lot of good chances on my club team. So I was like, well, if I got chances in club, I'll get chances in college. So I was like, I might as well just keep doing the same thing. And Parker hasn't said no to doing it, so I'll just keep doing it. And like I said, I got 2 chances from doing that, so I'll just continue.
And wanted to talk about Coach Parker, where he sort of encouraged you guys to get forward from wing back, and even when you were playing at a back four from the outside backs, he wants the overlapping runs. Him and obviously and Ashley St. Alban, who's the assistant, and then Laura Dougal, the goalkeeper coach, but all 3 of them kind of have different personalities. They each bring something different to the coaching staff. But what have you learned from the coaching staff in terms of your own play and getting feedback after games?
They all tell me the same thing, which is just to take people on more. So I'm trying to work on that a lot more. And then Parker likes to play the over top ball a lot, so working on being able to just see the through ball to our forwards to get them up and running. Ashley is more playing on the ground, possessing type, so we work between the over the top ball and the possessing. And then Coach Laura is the goalkeeper coach. She just gives encouragement towards us mostly. She mostly just works with the keepers. So, yeah.
So this week, a tough game on Wednesday against West Virginia Wesleyan at home, and then Saturday, a trip to Glenville State. Again, all these new teams that you're coming in and you're learning how they run, having not just joined the team this year, but just talked to Coach Parker on the show, and he said that you guys try to take it one game at a time as best you can. Is that sort of your preparation as well, as not looking forward ahead a game or two? And what is your preparation like for this week?
Just to put everything I have into practice to continue getting better. Usually I don't like looking at like the standings where everyone is, just because like sometimes it'll get into your head and you'll be like, oh look, we're like number 1, we don't have to like work as hard because it's an easy team, and that's just not how it goes. You don't always know who's going to win. The better team may not win that time, so I don't like to look at games besides just like, I'm going to go to the field and I'm going to play the best that I can.
Well, Caroline, I want to thank you for coming in to talk to us today. Obviously, you've got a busy class schedule, you've got practices and games coming in now, but we appreciate your time here, and congratulations once again on your first 2 collegiate goals and for Female Athlete of the Week.
Thank you.
All right, well, we will be back next week for week 6 of the Frostburg Sports Awards. Thank you, and go Bobcats.